What's up? Oh, it's a little nippy in my basement, so I'm throwing on Eagles throw, representing after a game that was in hand by the halftime. The game was over really by halftime. Easy work. I agree, Sergeant Bass. Sexy scenarios. Are the Sixers that good, or was Charlotte having the worst game of the season? I think a little bit of both. Sometimes, remember I said before, sometimes you got them games where one team hitting the other team just real off. Sometimes you got games where both teams is off. This is one of those games where Sixers was hitting and Charlotte was off. And our defense was popping. You know what I mean? So, welcome everybody who here. I know I didn't get a normal introduction. Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. We in the buildings. Me and Tim, only two of the four horsemen. Guess what the other two said? I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep.
That's exactly what they said.
Might give me a cup of hot chocolate and some warm milk, and I'm gonna curl up and get in the bed. Yeah, they soft. They soft, man. Yep. Everybody built like me and Tim to do this night after night after night.
Exactly. Even though
I probably missed the most shows out of anybody, but that's neither here nor there. I'm starting to get warmed up. That's neither here nor there. But great win again. Much to me and Wayne's point about Toby, this is one of them games where he do his thing. Like this is where I'm. As much as Tim want to talk about him, what's up, MOTC? As much as Tim want to hate, this is why him being the fourth option is a good thing. Because it's games like this that he could come in and do his thing. What he ended up, I know at one point he had 18 points. What did he end up with, Wong? I know you was stat checking him throughout the game.
If I'm not, probably 18.
Okay, okay.
If I'm a bad man, it's probably still 18.
You know what? Possibly so. But this is what I'm saying. This is what he does. This is why he's a good fourth option. He was in a little bit of a slump. Tim was trying to hate calling him hot garbage because he had a couple bad games. Sometimes you get into a slump. Sometimes great players, not that Toby's great, but even great players get in the slump. So, of course, a player, let's see the dog in the background. Of course, you'll see the player who's an average player, maybe slightly above average. It's going to have some games we get into the slump. He got into the slump. He came out firing the night. He had a lot of shots, inside that I think, that's what you have to do to get out of slump. You got to get some easy buckets. You get some layups, get some mid-range jump shots and all that kind of stuff like that.
And he finished with 18.
Okay, so there we go. He finished with 18 points. His shooting was, 7 for 11, 63% shooting, 3 for 5 from 3. He brought the sniper back out. This is a good thing. I agree with you, Sergeant Bass. I was just talking about that with Tim before we logged on. The Warriors can't win the road to save their life. It's sad. It's sad. But they mess around and have to fall into the playing game. I don't think they're gonna go I don't think they're gonna be out the playing game, but I think they mess around and have to be in the playing game. But we'll talk all about all that. The Sixers mainly. This is a good win for us. We continue to win, and other teams continue to falter. You have Milwaukee and Boston losing some games, so that continues to move us up, possibly get this number 1 seed. Denver won, but they've been losing too, so we still got a shot for the number 1 seed overall. Tim, what's your thoughts on the game? I know it was kind of a rout. It wasn't really too much that we had to fret about this game, but what's your thoughts?
No, it was enjoyable to watch. My goal was for them to get out by the end of the third quarter, and that's what they did. Embiid was able to get that rest because we got a back-to-back. We play Indiana tomorrow, and Tobias did what I expected him to do, to play well against a bad team, because that's what Tobias do. See, what I got a chance to do this week, because y'all kept telling me how I was being real critical of Tobias, and I was just going based off of what I was seeing. But I said, let me throw in the stats. So what I did?
Okay. What you do?
What I did was I grabbed all of the games that he participated in, and I put them all on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And I was able to,
okay, you going deep. Your hate has went that deep that you actually took time from the work to go to deep dive on Toby's stats. Go ahead.
Sure did. What I did was I filtered the report so that I could specifically target playoff teams in the East. Okay. So I said, it was 6 games total that we played against. First I did the Bucks and the Celtics.
Okay.
And when I filtered the Bucks, the team as a whole was 2-6 against those two teams thus far this year. But Toby didn't play in one of the games, so he
Okay.
don't even get credit for one of the wins. He literally was 1-5 against those two teams,
So
averaging 9.5 points a game. I'm sorry, 9.6 points a game. That was his average playing against the two best teams in the league. Then what I did was I put another team on there. I put Cleveland on there. When I put Cleveland there, it went from 9.6 points a game to 9.5 points a game. That's his average. And he was a minus on every game except one. The one game that he gets credit for is that Milwaukee Bucks game. And you know what happened? He only played 13 minutes because he got injured. That's the one team that he won against Boston when he was 1-5. That's the one team that he beat. Tobias is a liability when it comes to the playoff teams.
Listen, I go ahead, continue.
But what hear me out. If you want to find a ray of sunshine or a ray of hope, when I filtered the reports that just target the West Coast teams, he actually played very well. He averaged about 19, 20 points a game playing against the elite teams of the West. But guess what? We got to get to the West before we play the West. So my thing is, okay. I did the work.
Okay.
So the stats tell me one thing, my eyes tell me the same thing. Y'all telling me something different.
All right. I'm getting a couple comments. Dominic agrees with you. Jamar said somebody cut Tim Mike off. Listen, Mark said Tim is a professional hater. He said let Toby live. I respect the deep dive. I do. I respect. I'm a stat man. I'm an analytics man. Y'all know me. One of the reasons why, and it's a sidebar, one of the reasons why I bring up Curry is because the deep dive stats are incredible when you look at this dude. That's why I say in my opinion, he's one of the best offensive players ever to put a game, if not the best. Yep. So I respect the deep dive stats. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you credit for that. Okay. However, you only did the top two teams in the East.
No. I did the Bucks, and then I kept adding teams. I added Miami. I added Cleveland. I added 4 teams, and I believe there's a 15 that I added, all averaging no more than 9.6 games, 9.6 points, and then and also with the plus minus, every one of them not -7, -3, -18. So trust me when I tell you,
it take a lot of hate. It take a lot of hate to do what you just did. Listen, I got much luck. B and Curry, my favorite 2 players in the league right now. I haven't even went that deep on the stats to justify why they're so good. So, but you went that deep to justify why you think he trash, and I dig that. I respect that. I can't even front. I respect the mess out of that. But I mean, listen. Ultimately, I can't. The numbers don't lie. Toby hasn't overly. From what I remember, I think he had 1 or 2 good games against him.
I'm a super hater. I'm
a super hater. Tim is a super hater. Tim is a super hater. But this is my thing. Even if that's the case, we're still the number 1 team in the league since December. Mm-hmm. 25th, I think. Whatever the date is, sometime in December, they pulled the stats. All right. So he right now as a 4 player is a complementary player to what we do. Now, can you say some of them numbers may be skewed because B and Harden may rise more to the occasion in them big games? But the Maxey do in some of them big games that may have taken the ball out of his hand a little bit, or some of them other. I'm just this is all legit. You can't just give a stat and say it's everything. Some of this stuff has context as well. Some of them big games, B had 40, close to 50 points. Some of them big games. Some of them big games, B had 36, like tonight. B had 38, 13 rebounds. Harden only had what Harden had tonight. Harden only had 11 points.
No, because when we played Boston and the Bucks, we're 2-6 this year against Boston and Milwaukee.
Didn't one of them games B missed one of them Milwaukee games or something?
And one of the games Tobias missed. Tobias missed one of them.
Didn't Harden miss 1 or 2 of them games too? I think, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't play all them games. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of this factors in as well too. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying your stats don't have no validity. That the stats mean a lot. I lean heavily on stats. I do.
But I mean, he's averaging less than the 14 points that he's averaging now when he goes against elite teams. And we gotta get past the second round of the playoffs.
I agree. A lot to say about basketball. He said at least Toby would shoot. See, this is what confuses a lot of people here. All right. You have campaigned tirelessly. You and Herb, I don't even know if you're here tonight, tirelessly for Ben Simmons, a dude that don't shoot. And you no, let me finish. You backed his every step so much, y'all. Let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all this is how much Tim supports Ben Simmons, who probably got the league. You know, Clutch Sports just dropped him. They say he's leaving, but I think they dropped him because he trash.
They might have dropped him.
Tim supports him so much that
we're not talking about Ben. Ben is gone. If y'all notice, I haven't really.
This is why everybody's confused. I'm just saying why I'm talking about why I'm confused, and some of the listeners are confused. Tim says in our chat today, next year off season, Ben will work on this game and he'll come back averaging 18 and 9 or something like that. This is what Tim says in our personal chat. He sticks by Ben come hella high water, as the phrase goes. But you find the time to actually work up a spreadsheet and crunch the numbers. You use your job's spreadsheet that will really work. This is something that you actually get paid to do for your job, and you took that valuable time and resources and created a whole spreadsheet to hate on this dude.
All I had to do, I just filtered the data. The data was already there. I just filtered it, and I was able. It gave me exactly what I thought it was. What I thought is exactly what it was. So now I knew my eyes weren't deceiving me.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, but we confused though, because you had the same energy to Ben, but you got the same energy to a dude who at least tries to play. He at least tries to shoot. He at least gives it his all out there in the court where Ben scared underneath the rim.
I get that, but the thing is, Ben is gone. So that liability that we had where he didn't shoot, when he did other things, he's gone. So we don't have that as a crutch anymore. That's not going to be a hindrance. But Tobias Harris will be. So for Doc, what I need him to do is just play him less. The one victory that, because everybody can say, well, he got the victory. He beat when we played the Bucks. Remember, Toby and the PJ got hurt, and at halftime they never came back. That's when we made that come from behind. That's the only one that he participated on where he actually got the win. It counted toward his win total, but he didn't even play the second half. We was getting routed when he was in the game.
Okay,
I'm telling you. So he's gonna cost us.
Okay. So that's what you're saying. All this to say, all this number crunching, all this wasting of your company resources.
Here we go.
Let me stop saying that.
I know.
all this number crunching is to say we're gonna lose. We're not getting out of the second round.
Or it might be beneficial to play him less. Don't give him that 30-something minutes. Now, you can play him against the West Coast because he did very well. He had a lot of 20, 21-point games against everybody in the West. He played well against every team in the West. I will give him his props. I think the lowest point total he had maybe was 14 points. Everything else was like 18, 20, 21. That was him going against the elite teams, the Phoenixes, the Kings, everybody else.
I still can't believe people are still disbelieving that you actually use the whole spreadsheet to break this down. Like I said, I dig that. I'm a stat dude. I dig that. I've always been a stat cat since I was young. I used to, if y'all remember, John Madden football when it came out, the very first one, it wasn't no number to it. It was just John Madden football, and they had the rankings of the players, and the speed would go from 3, or the ability of the player would go from 3 to 15. 15 was the highest you could get. 3 was the lowest. Then it came out with John Madden 92 and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do when I played games, me and my brothers played like a tournament type thing, and I would actually write down stats and all this kind of stuff like that. Like my running back had, because it would show you at the end of the game how much your running back had, how much your quarterback passed for, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. I was enthralled. I love stats, so I dig where you coming from. I do, but there is, and it's deeper stats than what you're saying, because not only his stats, you can't just isolate his stats and say this is his stats and this is what they are. It also has an effect. His stats are also affected by other players' stats and the circumstances. So
but everybody else is the ball. Everybody else is doing is balling.
I'm saying, but I agree with you.
And you remember, I used to have a lot to say about Embiid early on, but you haven't heard me talk about him. I'm more so like, yo, Embiid he's actually remind me of what Giannis was doing. Like Giannis took us the game to the next level where we like, oh my God, nobody can stop Giannis. That's how I feel now about Embiid. Nobody can really get with Embiid. And now he's playing both sides. He's back to being a great defender and still being a great offensive player. So you don't hear me, even if Embiid have struggled a little bit, you're not gonna hear me hating on him like that. But what I'm telling you now is Tobias is too up and down, and it's going to cost us. And y'all, I'm telling you now because I'm trying to warn y'all. I'm sounding the alarm.
He had 4 blocks tonight, by the way. Listen, we'll see. I don't want to get too hung up on Toby because I do think that he's a solid 4th option for the team. I think that the thing that's going to catapult us through the playoffs is going to be our top 3. It's going to be Joel, Harden, and Maxey. That's really what's going to get us there. And some solid bench play. Yeah, I mean, Toby stepping up here and there, some solid bench play, I think is going to get us to the championship. So I'm not getting too hung up on Toby. Time will tell if your prediction is going to be correct. Time will eventually tell that. Let's talk about Joel Embiid. Let's talk about James Harden with the triple-double. Very impressive. Okay. I didn't even realize he had a triple-double. I mean,
he didn't shoot too well. I think he was like 4 or 15.
Yeah, they didn't shoot well, but this is what I'm cool with this. If you got to compensate a whack shooting night with other good things. You got 10 rebounds, had 11 assists, and only 20. Well, he played 31 minutes. He actually played the most minutes out of all the starters. Him and Maxey. Oh no, Joel played 29. 29 minutes. Joel dropped 38 and 13, and he had 5 assists, 4 blocks. This is that game Ethan was asking about. Remember, Ethan said he could average 30 and 13.
Yeah, why y'all gotta say Tim got hate someone every season? That's not true.
He do. Last year was Joel Embiid. Now he got his target. Tim is very isolated in his hate. He get tunnel vision. He got tunnel vision on Toby, and there's nothing this dude could do that can come out. Toby he could average 22 in the playoffs, and Tim's still gonna find a way.
If he does it against an elite team like Boston, the Bucks, or even if he do it against Miami, Cleveland, I'll give him his props.
Okay, we'll see. Time will tell. But let's talk about the best player in the NBA, who should be the MVP. But we'll see what happens. Joker might get his 3rd straight, which would be a true mockery of justice, a travesty if this dude gets.
It'll be a travesty of justice.
But all that being said, in my opinion, my criteria, Joel Embiid continues to head and shoulders above the competition. I seen somebody in the comment section. They said, I think it might have been Sergeant Bass or something. They say, listen to the Charlotte broadcast, and they were just gushing over Joel Embiid. I mean, this dude got.
I would like to hear that. The
whole arsenal at his disposal. And right now, including my young boy Steph, is nobody playing better. It's 1 and 2 right now between him and Curry, and Joel just on it. Because defensively he's giving it to you 100%. Offensively he can't miss. He's hitting the mid range at a Kevin Durant type time. It's automatic almost. What was he tonight? He was 16 for 21, 76% from the field.
Yeah, it was.
And you get to the free throw line and shoot 85%, 6 or 7. This is why I say efficiency matters. I know everybody want to act like, you got a lot of Kobe fans and people love Kobe, and I'm bringing him up as an example. Kobe was a great scorer. He could put the ball in the basket, but he shot a lot, and his efficiency for somebody of his magnitude was okay. It wasn't great. His efficiency from 3.
He ain't on Kobe.
I'm not hating. And his efficiency from 2. But this is why when you start ranking players and you start talking about people with comparable numbers and all this kind of stuff like that, points a game and rebounds and assists, efficiency is huge because that efficiency wins games. Them type numbers win games.
Yeah.
When you shooting 70% from the field, when you consistently shoot 50, 55%, all that kind of stuff, that stuff win games. And this is why I knock Giannis so much.
But Harden is making it so much easy for him. Harden, if you want to give some credit, to share the credit, Harden, the way the shots that he making so easy. He's doing passes in between his legs and everything. Easy layup. He finding him so easily. Right now, Joel, he got to give the part of MVP belongs to James Harden.
Listen, but this is what a complimentary player does.
Yeah.
Jordan had Pimpin. Curry had KD when KD was there. Like I snuck that in.
And Clay.
I mean, no, Curry had Clay though. Like
Yeah.
this is what even Giannis had Middleton the year that they went on a run and won a championship. LeBron always had either Kyrie or he had D Wade at one point.
Wait, time out. Flag on play.
But what?
Mr. Wing, I felt bad for y'all. Y'all getting sucked in again, only for them to lose in the second round.
See this. I mean, listen. This is Mr. Wing. Who's your squad? So your squad is it your squad Philly? Is your squad the Nets or somebody?
Yeah. Oh, he must be. I think he's a Brooklyn Nets fan.
But this is even if you're a Philly fan, this is some of the mentality of Philly. Like we're scared.
I believe we're different this year.
I told y'all we was different. I told y'all first that we was different.
As long as Embiid keeps playing and don't get hurt, and we limit Tobias Harris's minutes in the playoffs, I think we'll be good.
I mean, I just think, like I said, Doc has to know the temperature. If Tobias having a good game, let him rock. If he playing bad, you got to pull him, put McDaniels in there, try to switch up with Niang, Paul Reed, who looked very active tonight in the minutes that he had.
He did.
Paul Reed get in there and move around. Paul Reed always – one thing about Paul Reed is he plays every game. He on the AI tip. Like, he play every game like
his last.
He's very active.
We're about to win that chip.
Go, Ray. I agree. I think we're going to get
right.
I think when we get there, I'll make my prediction as to whether we're going to win or not. But I'm confident.
You've been very consistent saying we're going to get there, but I'm the most consistent saying we're going to actually win it. You haven't you haven't picked them to win. You just saying you believe that we'll get there.
Okay, but you at the same time are consistently saying that Toby's going to keep us from going. So I'm trying to figure out how. I'm trying to weigh your thought process because you're saying Toby's going to call. What you're trying to do is you're trying to do a Wayne scenario. This is what Wayne do. Wayne get on here and he creates two different worlds where he can't lose. This is what you're doing. You create in one world where you're saying if we lose, I'm going to blame it on Toby, so I'm going to be right because you could always pick something that somebody does.
You're gonna have to compensate.
Let me get it. Let me get it. I'm telling you what you're trying to do.
All right.
We're gonna pick a scenario where we're gonna lose, and Toby is gonna have maybe a bad game or two, and you're gonna say this is why we lost.
And what's wrong with that?
And you have a scenario. No, because then this is the problem. The flip side, you have a scenario where we get to the finals and win, and you say, "I told you so." So you try to put yourself in this Nostradamus type of prediction that you can't lose, and I'm not buying that. Pick one or the other. Is Toby going to cost us? Or are we going to win?
We're going to win in spite of Toby. That's the point that I'm making. We're going to win, but we're going to win in spite of him, not because of him. He's not going to be this great contributor to the championship. He just won't.
Okay, all right, Mr. Wayne. Did he ever announce who his team was? I never seen. I'm trying to scroll back. Did you ever announce? He said, "Love the Sixers. I'm tired of the same story. I'm watching. I just don't believe." See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. This is the Sixers, the Philadelphia fans' mentality. Even when we won in 2017, if he liked the Eagles, I'm not sure because I still don't understand how you don't root for all the Philly teams. It's your birthright. It's your heritage. If you're born in Philly, you really have no choice but to root for all the teams. So I don't get that. That's like going to a college or a high school, and that's like going to Dobbins and rooting for Gratz, or going to West Philly and rooting for Bartram. So I don't know. This stuff confuses me. But
so you talking about Brandon and Reggie?
Yeah, yes. Dudes like that boggle my mind. I don't understand. That's man law. I think we need to just establish some strict rules of sports man law, and one of them is you cannot be born and raised in an area that has a professional team and root for other teams. We gotta stamp this right now, and it's no argument no more. I need to get that. We need to move past that. But all that being said, this is some of the mentality. We gonna get there and we gonna lose. Or we gonna get ousted right before. This is the scary mentality. This is the scary. Just like you was a little scared today. The first thing you said, remember. Let me refresh your memory.
Yeah, do that, please.
You came on our polo chat. What did you say B said about Charlotte?
I said what? He just said when he said we take care of business early.
And what did you say? What was going to happen? Charlotte was going to do what?
Fold.
No, you didn't. That's cap. You came on here and said, well, Charlotte, see, he giving them fuel for fire. This is when teams start playing their hardest. They play like their life depend on it and all this stuff like that. Scared that Charlotte was going to come out so motivated because B gave them bulletin board material. And what happened? We did exactly what Joel B said was going to happen.
That doesn't – I still wasn't thinking that they was going to win. I just don't like – I personally just don't – I wouldn't get the game plan, but they so bad it didn't matter. It really didn't matter.
Listen, but that's what Wayne was saying to you. He said you're scared to get a dog, but you were so scared that you thought that this just because B gave him some bulletin board material that they was going to come in here and they was going to put up a fight or possibly even win. And what happened over at halftime? That
was like 7 o'clock this morning. I was like, why you remember stuff that took place like 7
okay. I remember what I need to remember to hate on people at the right opportunity. At the right moment, I pull the card.
Really?
That's what I'm doing. But this is the mentality. This is the mentality. Somebody said that earlier. People got the scared, shook, losing mentality. We good. The Philadelphia Philly Sports Podcast has spoken. Me and Tim as the voice, the originators. Y'all realize me and Tim were the first ones to actually start the podcast. But Wayne and Ethan try to tell you different, but that's neither here nor there. But the originators of the show have spoken, so y'all can relax. Let me read some of these comments real quick. Ziggy Marley, he agrees that's man law. Man law is established. If you're born in the city that has a sports team, you have to root for the team. There's no exceptions. If you don't, I hate to say this because I know it's a couple of y'all in here, but I'm going to have to call a spade a spade. If you don't, you're lame. You're a little bit lame for that.
I want to hear my mom bought me this jersey when I was a little boy, and then just remind me of her. And she's still walking around. It's not like she did. She's still walking around chilling. No.
You're a little bit of lame. Now you can like other teams. I'm not saying y'all know them, but you can like other teams. You can like other players. I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. You all that's cool. You could like this LeBron James and all the other people. You could like that. You could do that. But if you don't root for your team that you was born in, that's a little weak. It's a little lame to me. But that's neither here nor there. We still appreciate you viewing on the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Don't unsubscribe because I calling y'all names. Don't do that because I still got love for y'all. But this is just men talking to men. This is all that is happening here.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let me go back to Joel Embiid one more time because Tim kind of cut me off when I was making my point about the efficiency and his overall game. Hey, Charlie M, we are doing that. He said we're not doing that. Yes, we are doing that. You see, you see the comment section is packed with everybody saying, the majority of people saying this is man law. Thank you. Thank you a lot to say about basketball. This is man law. Who else? Don't gatekeep. What you mean don't gatekeep? Mark Ephraim, how am I for Gazy? I told you my loyalty is to the Lakers. I like other players. And
I know. Wait, time out. Because right now he's literally watching this his team on if you notice he keep looking on the other side, he's watching Golden State.
Yes.
So he's talking about something. You can't be this fan and this other team. Your loyalty. No. His loyalty is to Steph Curry and his family.
Yes, but yes.
The second.
The Curry family and me are like this. They don't know it, but we're very closely related. That's not saying if you root for a player, like a lot of people like LeBron, a lot of people love Jordan, a lot of people like Giannis, a lot of people like KD. That's fine. You could. My heart is not left this ever.
It is.
A lot of people like other players. It's cool to like other players. It's even cool to like to say, you know what? If my team gets eliminated, I'm rooting for this team. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But to hate on the teams that play in your city is unfathomable to me. Because most people from Philly, right? What they do when they go anywhere else, they could go to New York. They could go to Florida. They could go to Cal. They could travel all over the world. But when they say where you from, with pride, when they ask you where you from, you say I'm from Philly. That's where I'm from. Yep. I rep Philly and you rep it hard. So you can't. You're not repping the whole thing now. So are you picking and choosing how you want to rep? It don't make sense to me. It don't compute. That's all I'm saying. Yes, we go in there. The comment section has spoken. It is man law. It has been established. So if you have a rooting interest against Your team. You got to stop right now. We give you an opportunity to rescind all that. But Beat is playing. I do 6 scenarios. Beat is playing like Neo. I mean, and let me go. Tim keep on cutting me off, or I'll keep cutting myself off. Let me go back to this efficiency part. Beat can shoot and score from anywhere on the floor. Everybody can't do that. The top players, if you're going to say somebody's the best player in the game, you have to be able to, for one, offensively score from every part of the floor. 2, you have to be able to be at least very solid defensively. Not the best defensive player, which Joel Embiid very well might be one of the top 3 defensive players in the NBA right now.
He's gonna be first team defense, all defense. He's gonna make that easily.
He's gonna make he's gonna do the trifecta, and he should get the MVP. Yeah. He's playing so much on another level that all these dudes who was talking about Jokic before, now the ESPN, the talking heads.
You see how they turned, because I do want to talk about the MVP race. What happened in 2 weeks, 2 days ago.
Talk about it.
So yesterday they had the new polling out as far as who's the MVP leader as far as the ladder is concerned. Number 5 they have is Luka Doncic. Number 4 is Jason Tatum. Number 3 is Giannis. Guess who's the number 2 spot now? The Joker. And number 1 is Joel Embiid. Joel has finally overtook him, because they've been saying for the last 3 months there's no way that anybody can overtake him. Then last month they were saying it 2 months ago. They've been saying consistently there's no way. This man is averaging a triple-double. Then guess what? They start looking deeper into the stats of Joker and realize it ain't as good as it perceived to be. And so now people look at it. Now they look at it. I'm like, okay, they lost 4 games in a row. That hurt them this week. They finally won a game, but they lost 4 in a row. Embiid's team right now is on a 7-game win streak. And now all you got to do is be consistent, and he's going to get that first MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he should, but we seen surprises before. This is why, please, as fans of the game, y'all got to stop making everything about a person's legacy on these voting awards. Even the first and second all-team NBAs.
You keep saying for you don't care, but I'm talking for most people and historians and for Hall of Fame voters and all that, it is important.
But why? Okay. Why though? Answer me why. Why is that important?
Because it's like when they're doing your Hall of Fame, they're like, okay, how many MVPs they got? You got 1, they got 2. Like LeBron got 4. I think Jordan got 4. Those MVPs, they do matter when it comes to when they putting on who's going to be who's the baby goats. You know, you got the ultimate goat as far as Jordan and LeBron, but who's those baby goats? Who's those greatest of that time period? They're like, well, he only got 1 MVP. He don't got no MVPs. He hasn't been past the second round of the playoffs. He hasn't been to an NBA final. He don't have the championships. This is something also that Dane was talking about earlier this year, about earlier this week, how the game has changed, but you are judged by individual success as well as team success.
No, but I'm not talking about team success and individual success. I'm talking about awards and voted on categories. Why is that important? You telling me what people do, but you're not telling me why. Why is that important? For instance, it's like this. This is why I scoff at the idea of these voting awards, right? Everybody's had this criteria, or the voters have their criteria, who nobody really knows what the criteria is for MVP. That's why it's all over the place. That's why one day Nash could win it, who don't score, and not in the top 10 scoring, and then Joker could win it, and then somebody like Kobe could win it one year because he's the leading scorer, and then the next year he's the leading scorer and don't win it again. It's all over the place. So Nick Wright on his show comes up with his own criteria. Jay Will on his show comes up with his own criteria.
I kind of like Jay Will's criteria.
I liked his criteria as well, but this is my thing. So what makes his criteria more important than mine or anybody in the comment section, or more important than yours? I don't care. This is everybody's opinions and feelings of what they feel. And even with Jay Will's criteria, him and Max was arguing about a couple points on his list as to why or why not they should be included as a criteria for the MVP.
It's part of your legacy.
It's opinion.
What is your legacy? I mean, look, like just this week, everybody, you agree that Angela Bassett is probably one of the greatest actresses of all time, pretty much, right?
Yes.
But this week she didn't win the Oscar. She was up for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. She didn't win, and then you saw the disappointment in her face. You still know that she's a great actress. I still know she's a great actress. Mm-hmm. But for her, she needed that kind of like solidifies her in her genre, which she does as her art form. If you say I won an Oscar, that's something special. If you win that MVP, that's something special to that player, and it's lied to the fans. So I want Joel to get his MVP. He wants that MVP. I'm supporting his MVP.
You're making two different arguments, and I agree with you. As a player, you feel a measure of gratitude.
Yeah,
that these people voted for you, right? As a fan, I don't put that on my player who I'm judging, or not even a player I like, but just a player that I'm saying where he falls in the all-time ranking. I don't say, oh, he both got 2 MVPs. That automatically puts him up there. Nash, when me and Wayne was arguing Nash over Westbrook, I never said, oh, Nash got 2 MVPs. How many Westbrook got? Like, that don't matter to me. As a fan, that matters to the players. That matters to her as an actress, because that solidifies her. She worked hard to get it. I feel good when somebody achieves a goal that they want. That's good for them. Angela Bassett should have won. I know she felt salty. She had the mean mug. She was hot. She was hot. She didn't win.
Clap. She was like,
and she has the right to be. My thing is, if you're as a movie connoisseur or whatever you want to call yourself, somebody who likes movies and you watch ever since the Tina Turner movie and whatever it's called and all that kind of stuff, and what's the other movie she had?
What's Love Got the World?
Yes,
and Wayne Pixel and all of them other movies.
Exactly. As a fan, when somebody says to you, who's a better actress, Angela Bassett or Jamie Lee Curtis? Are you gonna be like, well, Jamie Lee Curtis does have an Oscar, so that puts her ahead? No, you're gonna be like, yo, Angela Bassett did her thing in this, did her thing in this, did her thing in Wakanda, did it. Blah, blah, blah. You can name off all the things she played. Fabulous.
I don't disagree with you.
That she was a role player. It's the same thing to me with sports. I don't sit there and be like, well, the boy had 5 first-team NBAs. He had 5 first-team.
That's part of
matter to me.
That's part of the judging process when you are as a voter, because there's voters in there who vote for the Hall of Fame.
I don't care about
for the Mount Rushmore.
I got my vote too.
I got my vote. Top 50, the top 75, the top 100. All of those are like, they're going to look at the criteria. Were you this? How many first-team NBA? How many times was you the MVP? All of those things do matter. They don't matter to you, but for the vast majority of people, it does matter.
No, I'm trying to change everybody. It's a lot of things that matter to people. I'm trying to wake up sports fans, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a vote, and those stuff. What matters to me is solid statistics. You come out and you give me some solid statistics, and you crunch the numbers, and you tell me what the eye test saw, and what this player did against this player, and how he exceeded to get in, versus this competition, and LeBron James with a 3-1 comeback, and what his stats, he led everybody in scoring, rebound, assists, and steals. That's saying something to me.
It's part of the game, though. All that is part of
stats.
Championships don't matter then, right?
Stats, your effect on the game being won is part of what makes you a great player. Win shares, defensive win shares, all that kind of stuff like that.
That was him talking nonsense. So his joint just went out on him. I'll tell you, I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say it over again. It does matter. The MVP does matter. It really do. All right. So as Ephraim get his power together, I'm gonna read some of your comments. He said, let's talk about Eagles. CJ lost all leverage. I kind of the market's not there for him right now. And unfortunately, the market's just not there for him. So the Eagles may get him on a cheap. And I think he have y'all been noticing on Twitter, he's been having little temper tantrums and then he erased the tweets. It's kind of funny. Mr. Wing, the dudes of the sports shows are some of the extra voters. Exactly. Some of the dudes, they've been saying that, like, I voted, and a lot of them saying they have their own criteria for why they're losing and why they choose not to vote for Joel.
Hold up. All right, so I'm back. So what I miss? I know most of the people in the comment section are agreeing with what I was saying. So.
No, actually, nobody is even acknowledging what you said.
Okay. whoever agrees with me, give me a thumbs up or give me a no. I agree with Ephraim. He kicking knowledge because I cannot be by myself on this. I cannot be by myself that stuff like because matter of fact, I was looking at a video and Jalen Rose was talking about Jordan and LeBron. So he started bringing up how many defensive first team Jordan was on versus LeBron and blah blah blah. And somebody said he is a hater. And somebody said in the comment section, well, those are voted on awards, like they're voted things. So they're not, to me, that you cannot use that as a definitive why he's better. You can't use that. Master of the Craft, what's up? Joe is the MVP and M is the GOAT. Carry on. Love y'all. Like the video. All in here. Time out going around. Time. Oh, he's talking about the times from Cats Out. Thank you, MOTC. Appreciate that. M is one of the top 10 rappers all time. We talk.
Time out. Say it again.
He's not the GOAT. He said M is the GOAT.
Well, who said he was top 10?
He might be top 10, top 15. I give him.
What makes him top 10? Seriously. He's
lyrically talented. There's no doubt that
lyrically talented. What album do you listen to of Eminem that you like? Yo, this joint is pop and like you go back.
I never listened to a whole M album, but there are M songs that I have on my playlist. Edited version, of course. I don't listen to cursing, but I do have a couple M songs in my playlist.
Nobody. I mean, he gets people like I know why everybody be joining him up.
Listen, we talked about that. Listen, I'm not saying. Don't ever think I'm saying the boy trash. I think he's
I didn't say he was trash. I won't say he was trash, but I'm just saying it's a lot of bulls, especially black bulls. So Joe Bull that really you don't have any. Most people don't even have them in their playlist.
Ample Mind said no, not that again. Mark said he's not top 100. You don't think he's top 100, Mark? I mean, listen, but that's what I'm talking about. Everybody opinions is cool. I'm fine with the masses getting together and saying this is our opinion on things and this is why, and give me some solid reasoning why. I don't think the criteria for the MVP is solid enough for me to even buy into it. I don't know what the criteria is for defensive first team and all that kind of stuff like that. I don't know.
Everybody put in the chat the 10 rappers that's better than Eminem. Can y'all put them in the chat as we continue? I bet you we come up with about 30 of them.
Possibly
right,
so.
Go ahead.
And not top 10. Stop it. He said, hold on, this John popped off the thing. He said, if M was black, he will be Razcast.
Exactly.
He probably would be what's the boy name who battled L again? Cassidy. He probably be like not Cassidy, not the other boy. What's his name? I like Cassidy. Cassidy's actually pretty good. What's the boy who battled L? Somebody probably gonna say in the comment section. He probably would be like that. He probably would be like that. So listen, stop commenting in this sports podcast in the top 10. I mean, let's see.
Biggie, Nas, Tupac. Come on, stop.
He might be falling off the top 10. I mean, if I do my list, 10. if I do my list, he might not make it. I don't know. I gotta say.
Nas, J, Biggie, Pac, Prodigy
was
Rakim. Please, thank you.
I don't know. See, I don't know if Prodigy's in my top 10. I don't know if Prodigy's in my top 10. Like
J. Cole. I mean, you could get 10
J. Cole
out there
dude,
now.
J. Cole a new dude, but J. Cole got bars. I give it to him. He kind of new dude. Cannabis, that's his name. Somebody put him up there. Cannabis.
Can I bust?
Somebody put Eve up there.
Thank you.
All this time, I never thought I'd get bashed for appreciating a rapper with crazy wordplay. Yeah, I do like his wordplay. His wordplay is talented. It's gifted. I hate, but people try to act like he's the one who started that, wordplay stuff when he didn't. But he's nice. I think M is nice. I got a couple Jones I listen to that bang. He gifted. The boy got talent. We got to evaluate where he at all time. But Mark saying he's not top 100, I think that's crazy. I think you can put him somewhere in the top. When he say I see now people getting carried away. Now people, Common. Can you put Common? I like Common. Common, he got a long career.
Exactly.
He always come off on them. I heard him do a freestyle one time, and that thing was nasty.
Man. Kane, I mean, just you can get
You got Jada. You got Jada. I mean, like you could go all over the place with this thing. I agree, but it also depends on what you like as well. Like what.
So what do you like about Eminem that you say, oh my God?
He's clever. I like clever rap. He is. He's clever. He put nice words. He make the wordplay nice. I do like the wordplay, and that's why I like Kanye. Somebody
put Kanye up there?
Kanye, in my opinion, is definitely top 10. I think he's definitely top 10. He might even be top 5. First of all, I will say this. Kanye.
Somebody put Father MC.
It's the way I gave Cool G Rap a shout out last time. Kanye probably has the best rap albums, the most classic albums of all time. By one person, not like you could put Wu-Tang together. They got the whole album and all that kind of stuff. They got the Enter the 36 Chambers, and they got Triumph and all that. What was Wu-Tang Forever was the second one was called. But that's their whole team.
Shout out to Ample Minds.
When you talk about one dude, Kanye's first 2, possibly even 3 albums, you could actually just put in, hit play, and relax and listen to that whole joint. There's very few albums that I could actually do that to in my lifetime where I didn't skip no songs.
That's College Dropout.
Kanye got some. College Dropout, Late Registration. What was the other one called? Even what was the other one? I can't even remember now. My name, my mental ain't working tonight. But Kanye got some. He got some bangers, bro. He got some bangers. I think he may have.
I put Salt and Pepper above him.
What you say?
I put Salt and Pepper.
See, now you're getting carried away.
Let me see if he make top 10 female rappers. Okay, is he better than Nicki Minaj? Nope. Foxy Brown.
Yeah, was it my Dark Prophet? Was it my Dark Twisted Fantasy or something like that? I think it was.
I got Foxy Brown, Lil Kim, Eve.
Oh, I agree. How you say that? DM. I'm gonna just call you DM. I don't want to mess all that up. DM O'Hine. Get Rich or Die Trying was one of those albums that you could put in, but that's the only one he has to
MC Light. Yeah.
Kanye got like 3 of them. Kanye got like 3 albums you could just put in, hit play, and just fall back. And everyone is a banger. But Brand Nubian, I agree with you, Brand Nubian. I mean, but
thank you, Mark.
Some of the stuff you gotta ask yourself too, how many songs / albums did they put out continuously that you really, really got down with, and that you really could say, yo, this bull, he bringing it every track. Like that's what you can't just say somebody had one good album and all of a sudden they one of the greatest. Like, oh man, I bang that album all the time, and that not even top 10. No, it don't work like that. To me, top 10 means for 1 you got skill, and then for 2 you got a little bit of longevity. That's why a lot of times, sometimes people question whether Big is in the top 10 because he only legitimately had 2 albums. Now these are 2 great albums. Both these albums you could kind of put in and let ride for real. That's another one.
Yeah, Public Enemy, Conscious Rat.
But
stop playing.
I mean,
Lil Wayne definitely top 10.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Exactly. That's what I said. Did anybody put what's the yellow boy? I can't think of his name.
Who that?
Lil Wayne protege. Why can't I think of his
Drake,
name?
Drizzy?
Yeah, Drake.
Drizzy got bars, but it's a question as to whether he's really writing his own lyrics or not. Wayne brother do that.
Well, why is that a thing though? In any genre of music, everybody have writers. It'd be like, okay, you wrote that, but when it comes to rap, you gotta be the writer.
No. The rap is different. Rap is the holy grail of a certain type of art form that you can. R&B, somebody can write a song for you and all that. Rap is the holy grail of artistic expression. If you're not spitting your own bars, something's wrong. That's why Puffy had Biggie write for him, he had Jay-Z write for him, but nobody took Puffy seriously. Even though some of his songs was hot, nobody took him seriously because they knew he wasn't writing. He told
Andre
him, I don't write the right check.
Exactly. Outkast. Big Boy.
I mean, yeah. Listen, a lot of these dudes are forward, I agree, but how many songs
So right now we have the 30 people better than Eminem and counting.
You taking Ricky Rose over Eminem?
Yep.
I never listened to I never listened to enough Rick Ross. I heard his club songs and his radio popular songs, but I never listened to a off radio song of Rick Ross. So I honestly can't. I don't have no real opinion on Rick Ross and how really good he was because I ain't really listened to Ricky Ross. Now he had some bangers. The Jones I was on the radio with some bangers, but I never really listened to an album Rick Ross.
MOTC, what are you saying? You said I'm ignoring you. What you say? I didn't hear you. All right, but tomorrow we jump on and we actually play a back-to-back. We go and play the Indiana Pacers in Indiana. Do we keep it live? Because remember, we scored like 140 points on them last time. That was a very high-scoring team. That team can score out the wazoo. How do you think we're gonna do tomorrow?
Who we play tomorrow?
Indiana Pacers. That was a tough team. They might be the one that in our
it's a back-to-back. Those are the kind of games that kind of bite you sometimes. If we lose, I wouldn't be surprised. I still think we're gonna win, but if we lose, I wouldn't be surprised though. It's one of them games back to back.
MOTC said everyone we name has M as a GOAT. Eminem is okay.
I mean, 50 in the interview said he a GOAT. Jay-Z said he a GOAT. I mean, but sometimes
that's politically thing to say. And Eminem came under 50 Cent umbrella, so he always gonna give him props regardless.
That's true. That's true.
I don't what 50 Cent say, I don't buy. That's his man.
Lauryn Hill is probably the best rapper and probably the best woman rapper of all time. And she probably has one of the most classic hip-hop albums. She has a top 5.
That was one of my all-time favorite albums of all time, like top 10.
Yeah, that's definitely and maybe I don't know about top 5, maybe top 10. Top 10 hip-hop albums of all time. I have to agree. That's another one for the most part. It's like only like 2 songs on there that I could possibly skip. For the most part, I let that ride.
That's a classic album.
It's a classic.
That's an all-time classic album.
That's we got to come on here one day and talk about. After we talk about the sports, we talk about all-time classic albums. We could argue top 10 and top 20 rappers all time. We have to get us a certified list right here and now of the top 10 all-time hip-hop albums.
Now, if I'm just doing top 10 without being hip-hop, I'm telling you right now, my 3 is Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Jill Scott, I Am Jill Scott, or This Is
So you're talking about all albums in general?
Yeah. Okay. Jill Scott, her first joint, and Lauryn Hill. Those are my 3. And Songs to Feel Like by Stevie. But that's
okay. I can't argue with none of them. But let's talk about this. Which recall said, where's he at? Ziggy Marley said that joint wasn't hip hop though. I don't. You think Lauryn Hill's album wasn't hip hop?
It was hip hop. She won a Grammy in the hip hop section of the she won like 8 Grammys. One of them was for hip hop. I can't
co-sign that not being hip hop. Now it was a little. She does some singing. It was some R&B mixed in there. But would you say Drake ain't hip hop? Would you say Ja Rule ain't hip hop? Like what's the definition of what makes something hip hop or not? I wouldn't say Lauryn Hill's album wasn't hip hop.
Yeah,
Enter the 36 Chambers was the truth. Yeah, you about to go. It's about to be an hour. We're gonna go off on a whole other tangent. Listen, get y'all list together. What I want y'all to do is come on here with a certified list. Maybe even the next show tomorrow or sometime this weekend and the next time we play. We need to get a certified top 10 hip hop albums of all time, and then we can have a separate list like Tim is trying to do of albums of all time. Now, of course, our albums probably be mostly R&B and hip hop. And some classics like Stevie Wonder and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could throw some. I don't know. Somebody I might listen to some rock or something. I ain't really. I get down a little bit. I'm not saying I don't. My music genre is all over the place. But album wise, I know hip hop and R&B. That's what I know. That's in my DNA. But we gotta get on that. That's a good time. Joe Embiid
tomorrow. This was fun.
Harlem World with the Joe. Listen, again, Joel Embiid, best player in the NBA, without question. You could bring up all these other names right now. Right now, Joel Embiid is the best player in the NBA right now. Joel 1, Curry 2. Take us away, Tim.
All right.
Take us away.
All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Real quick note on the Eagles. As far as what Howie's done, just give me 2 minutes. I thought Howie did a good job retaining a lot of players that we was going to lose. Like the fact that we kept both cornerbacks, so that was a good thing. I don't like the fact that we kept Fletcher Cox and BG. I would have kept one or the other.
I agree with that.
Sometimes it's time to start turning over the team, and the fact that we kept Kelsey. I would have kept Kelsey on the offensive side because he's still a dominant center. But as far as the defensive line, I think we need to get younger and start, turn it over and start building for the future. But outside of that, Eagles did good so far in free agency.
Hey, all Mark, right. Tell Joy I get her a nod on that Mary J drum was the truth.
Of course, Joy gonna say something about Mary J. Blige. She's a Mary J. Blige.
All the sisters love Mary J. Mary J. She the queen. She was Queen B before Queen B came onto the scene. She used
to follow her tour bus. She is Mary J. Blige. Joy, I know you. Anyway,
still holding it down.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We're gonna catch y'all on the next podcast tomorrow. We out. Deuces. Can't believe y'all trying to put Eminem in the top.